G'day and welcome to Outback Gold Fever. I'm Mark.
And I'm Chrissy.
Together we live full time in the Australian outback on the search for gold. Join us today as we detect for gold nuggets in the Meekatharra goldfields of Western Australia.
Yeah, it was a bit cold this morning when I started to go detecting, so I'm a bit rugged up in long jeans and a thick shirt. Yeah, as it's getting a bit later in the day, I'm starting to regret that decision, but yeah, I'll keep going now. I've got my lunch in my backpack, I've got plenty of water with me, and yeah, the plan is to stay out here the whole day. I just came across a freshly gridded area here, so Chainman has done his work, but yeah, if he's done his work properly, I'm about to find out because I've got a signal here. Yeah, I'm not too sure how he missed it, but it's a definite signal. So I'll dig it out and see what it is. Hopefully it's going to be a piece of gold. Yeah, the target is out of the hole already. It was only shallow, which sort of makes me think it might be a piece of rubbish. So it could be a piece of tin. But yeah, I'll go through the dirt and see what it is. Oh yeah, I can see it. Nice. Well, that's a piece of gold and it was only shallow. And it's right next to somebody else's grid pattern here. That is awesome. Yeah, that piece there might not be very big, but yeah, I'm very happy with that because now I've got a place where I can, you know, slow down, see if I can unearth a few more because yeah, back there I covered a bit of country. There was so much tin around, old-timers camp back there, and yeah, finally I'm on the gold.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a quiet week this week. We haven't managed to find much gold at all. We've had a good search around, we've driven here and we've driven there, and we haven't managed to really get onto anything much at all. So I've gone with a tip that someone gave me my first year of detecting, is that when you can't find gold, go back to where you found gold before, and so that's where I am today, and I've just got my first target that sounds a little bit sweeter. I'll give you a listen. Yeah, so that sounds a lot sweeter than a lot of the targets here, so I'll give that a bit of a dig, and yeah, hopefully we can find a few bits of gold in amongst all the rubbish. Okay, it's out of the hole now, so fingers crossed. Yeah, so there it is. Another little piece of trash, but yeah, some of them sound a little bit sweeter than those bits of tin, so yeah, I don't know what it is, maybe a bit of aluminium or something. But anyway, we'll keep searching.
Yeah, it looks like Chainman did a pretty good job out here. I've been circling around for a while and yeah, only got a few bits of rubbish out here. This will be the last one that I'm digging near the chain racks. And I took a note of what the country looks like out here because there's a few differences to the surrounding country. So that's always a good hint when you find gold. Have a look, what does the country look like, what kind of plants grow around that area, and then move on and compare the rest of the country with that spot. I've got one target here which I'm gonna give a go. This is a chain drag here, there's one there, and the signal is somewhere in that area. I'll show you what it sounds like. So yeah, that sounds alright, so I'll dig it out and see what it is. It's a specie. There's gold in here, I can see it already. Nice, look at that. It's only a little bit of gold that's visible at the moment. Well, I might spend a little bit more time here. I'll change my plan. I'll spend a bit more time here and see what else is around. Hard to tell how much is in here. But yeah, I'll clean it up when I come back to the camp later on. I don't want to waste my drinking water to wash off some dirt off the rock. But yeah, it's gold. I'll plot that into my GPS. I'll check the hole, fill it back in, and then I'll keep going. So yeah, Mark is coming. He's joining me for lunch. Yeah, that's the specie I got.
Oh yeah.
And a subgrammer in there.
Not as big as my piece. Oh, where'd it go? There was a 23 ouncer in there. Where'd it go? It must have fallen out.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, that's unlucky twice today because I just realised.
Oh no, I've got the same ones.
Yeah, new tins and they're not the.
We don't have the pull opener.
They're not the pull openers. We didn't realise.
What are we gonna do?
Starve.
No. Usually the tins have a pull opener and it's easy to get them open, but yeah. Oh, I've got a multi-tool thing in my backpack.
We can try.
I'll have a look. So this will be bush advice number 1, how to open a can when you don't have a can opener. I'm gonna watch closely.
I might even learn something.
Oh, look at that. He is so handy.
When you're hungry, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
There you are, my lady.
Oh, that looks alright, my lord. Oh, look at that. Mmm.
Cheers.
Enjoy. Guten Appetit. So just a little hint, if you're out there looking for gold, try and find out where it's coming from. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just following the rocks up the hill here and yeah, you never know, you might come across a reef. Yeah, I've got a signal here and honestly, I'll show you first. That signal is coming from a spot off the quartz boulder there, and yeah, that could be the source of the specimen that I found further downstream. So I'll dig it out. Hopefully it's not rubbish that's jammed in between the rocks there. That would be so cool if the signal was coming from in here. But yeah, I'll move it first. Oh, there's cobwebs. I shouldn't do this with my hand. Oh, that's a lizard, okay, not a snake. But yeah, there are critters out here that can kill you. So I'll use my pick. That's the lizard gone. Here in Australia, wherever you dig, you shouldn't put your hand straight away. Because yeah, you never know what's going to get you from underneath it. There are spiders, snakes, even centipedes that are poisonous. There's all sorts of stuff out here. Scorpions. I dug up scorpions before. I don't like gloves. I don't know. It's too hot for gloves. Yeah, I just use my pick. So for now, the rock is out. I'm going to use my detector to see if the signal is still there. Just a piece of tin. How unlucky.
Yeah, Chrissy and I often come across areas that have been chained. Chaining is a technique used by detectorists to make sure that they cover a targeted area thoroughly. Yeah, so what it does is it leaves a line in the ground and it tells you where you've been walking basically. Yeah, so the reason you'd actually chain an area is to give yourself the best chance of finding more nuggets in that area. It's a lot easier to find nuggets in an area where you've already found nuggets than it is just walking aimlessly through the bush. Chaining can do a couple of things for you. It it could slow you right down in a specific area. It gives you more of a chance to find those deeper targets or softer sounding targets. All you really need is a piece of rope, a piece of chain, and preferably a clip. Basically, you want a piece of chain that's going to be long enough and heavy enough to leave a line in the ground that you're working. Obviously, you don't want it too heavy because you're going to be towing it around most of the day, so you don't want to go overly silly with your chain. Also, a piece of rope to tie from your chain to your clip, and that rope really needs to be long enough that you can work once you've found a target. You can pinpoint, you can dig without having that chain right beside you and interfering with the coil. So you want it far enough back that it gives yourself a little bit of room when you want to work around a target. And a little clip on the end certainly helps and makes it easy if you want to attach and remove the rope from your, say, your belt clip, or I actually clip it to the back of my backpack. I don't like it pulling on my shorts all day, so I actually clip it to the backpack, and I don't feel it as much. Yeah, so basically you want to mark out an area, preferably with the nuggets that you've already found, basically in the middle of that area, and just basically work in a line, say of about 20 meters up and down that area, and make sure you cover it thoroughly. No, I don't actually carry the chain around with me. I leave it at camp, and I usually would go back and get it if I need to, or if I'm way away from camp and I'm coming to an area I want to have a bit more of a thorough look over. I just usually do a boot scrape about every 2 or 3 meters as you walk, and that gives you a bit of a line of an area that you've already covered, and that'll usually get me by until I come back with the chain. Usually when I'm chaining an area, I'll leave the holes open, and that'll leave a visual cue for me to see whether it may be a run of nuggets or a concentration of nuggets. Once you've finished chaining the area and you've picked up all the nuggets, then just go back over with your pick and fill in all those holes. Doesn't take long.
Yeah, in this part of Australia you come across a lot of these holes here. At the beginning I didn't know what it was, but this one here is definitely a lizard hole. Some of them get really, really huge. You can see the tail slide here, and even footprints there. But yeah, look at the size of the hole. So that would be big enough to get its body through there. So I'm back at the camp now. I ended up with 1 subgrammer and the specie. Didn't get any more up the hill there, unfortunately. But at least I've got 2 pieces of gold, and this one here weighs 0.44 of a gram. And that's the specie there. I gave it a bit of a wash, so there might be another, I don't know, half gram in here, which would make it a 1 gram day roughly, which could be better, but yeah, it's gold.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our video, click the like button. If you want to see more of our adventures, how about subscribing to our channel?